you've heard the last name, you know I'm not a southerner with the name Sorachek, but I am Ukrainian. And my family is still in the Ukraine. The Ronald McDonald house in the Ukraine is being hidden right now. All their staff, all our programs are shut in the Ukraine, and they're slowly trying to move them out of the country. The last picture I saw of my counterpart in the Ukraine had her and her daughter hiding, almost World War II-ish, underneath in a cellar. So they're trying to get out, and our RMAC Global is in constant contact with them to hope that all the staff can get out. The program has only been in place now for 3 or 4 years. So our thoughts go out to them, and I know it's going to be good. So I will say Slavo Ukraini, Chirium Slavo, which means Ukrainian heroes, and heroes, glory to the heroes. So I will start with that, but I will get back into something more recent. Simon Sinek says, working hard for something we don't care about is called stress. Working hard for something we love is called passion. That's what I like to think we do at the Ronald McDonald House. I wanted to share about what we do in the community, and we're going to do it a little backwards. I think we're going to start with a story. I told there's some sound. If it doesn't work, we'll just skip over and I'll just tell you what this will happen. This comes from someone that's from this area.
My daughter was born less than a pound. So like when you go to the gas station, you grab that 16-ounce bottle of soda, she weighed less than that. So she had probably she had 10 surgeries that most of them were life-threatening. And through it all, it was my wife and I's first child. And it was devastating. We didn't know what to do. And the Ronald McDonald House was there for us. And it was amazing. I didn't know much about the Ronald McDonald House. And once you started, the first day when you showed up, you were like, oh wow. And like just say you had baby A and baby B and had the same symptoms, or the same, the baby that has the parents there will always have better outcome. Like talking to the doctors and nurses, they always said that. And the Ronald McDonald House allowed us to be there for our daughter. And now she is thriving. I mean, after all these surgeries, and you hear all these stories about babies born that young, they have these developmental issues. She is ahead of the curve in all aspects. Has recovered with no issues, which is a blessing. And we owe a ton of that to the Ronald McDonald House.
So I don't know if you heard the first part, but when baby Blake was born, the next time you're holding your 16-ounce soda, I want you to think about this for a second. Baby Blake was born at 15 ounces. They couldn't move her when she was first born for her first 6 months of her life because if they moved her, bones would break. Because they couldn't do it. Pictures are amazing of how little she was. And you'll see her a little bit later in a video, 2 years later. So things have turned out great. She was our little fighter. But 15 ounces, it's what we do. Our longest stay just happened this week. We had someone stay 253 days with us at the house. So for those of you that are football fans, it's a really cool story. It almost sounds like a joke. There's a football player, there's a doctor, and there's this restaurant guy, and they all end up getting together in 1972 because Fred Hill is a tight end for the Philadelphia Eagles, and his daughter ends up having something called leukemia. Doesn't know what it is. A whole series of events happen that would never happen today, and it leads us to our first Ronald McDonald House. Janet Colbush, who's here with me, our development director. There's Jimmy Murray. He was the general manager of the Philadelphia Eagles. And down in the right-hand corner is Fred and Kim Hill, who are now McDonald owner-operators. Kim passed about 10 years ago at the age of 35. She didn't die from leukemia, she died from the treatment. But her greatest quote is saying that she was glad she got sick. She was glad she got sick because all these people came together to create this amazing home away from home called the Ronald McDonald House. So for us, if you don't know us, we have 3 core programs. We put families near the care they need with the families they live. So we're really a home away from home. Now, the first one, I want to talk about how it affects you guys. And I think some of it you know and some of you don't. First one is our camera bill. You may have seen it driving down the road. To give you an idea, there's only 42 camera bills in the entire RMHC Global Network. The first was ours here in Beaufort, South Carolina. A camera bill for a Ronald McDonald house can be anything, whatever the community needs. It could be medical, it could be dental. The coolest one was in Ecuador many years ago, and it was tattoo removal because kids were tattooed into gang affiliations. And the camera bill actually removed the tattoos before there was an overthrow of the government. But it was very much needed for the community, and the camera bill was never attacked by any of the gangs. But for us, we've been doing this for quite some time. In 2001, we opened up here. Before COVID, the last year we were in full operation, we averaged 2,700 kids being treated on our camera bill, seeing a dentist for the first time. This program is unique only in Beaufort County. So we're covering Beaufort, Hilton Head, Jasper. It's not in Georgia because we're RMHC of the Coastal Empire, which means we serve Georgia and South Carolina. Camera bill just provides those services at the elementary level. We're hoping to expand on it. It does the following: dental screenings, fluorides, treatments, education, all the things, because most of the kids we're seeing have never been to a dentist. Their parents don't have the ability to get them to a dentist. And a lot of times they end up, it waits to the worst case scenario, and they're being brought to the emergency room. So seeing those 2,700 kids also freed up the emergency rooms in the county. We used to look like this, but if you've noticed lately over the last 3 or 4 years, you don't see Ronald on TV because Ronald's on hiatus. Ronald's retired. Even though there's only one Ronald, and it's like Santa Claus, so he was tired, he needed a break. But now we look like the Partridge Berry family when you see us driving down the road. Well, you guys are a tough crowd, not even a smile. I really thought that was gonna go over well, but I was wrong. But, see, now, there you go, you're awake, good. But this is what the kids are seeing. So when they go and they step into that middle of the unit in their nice reception area, calm down because they don't know what a dentist is gonna do. The unit has 2 chairs, 2 areas for service. They stay at schools as long as they can. We work it through. It used to be reduced lunches, then it was free and reduced lunches, and now we've opened up the program to any child in the school whose family does not have dental insurance. But there's a lot more to this. Everybody knows, and it's only exclusive here. What you guys don't know is everything else we do. We were founded in 1987. This year we turned 35 years old. 35 years old serving the Coastal Empire. In 2021, during COVID, we still provided 4,500 family night stays. We never shut during COVID. We were just talking about it on the way in. You realize that today, March 16th, is the 2-year anniversary of really when the world shut down. It was March 16th that I walked into my house and said to my staff, I can't ask you to stay. I don't know what this is going to be. We've heard so many different things. We don't know what this is. And without missing a beat, my staff said, this is when the families need us the most. We stayed open from day 1 of COVID. We stayed at 85% capacity because we lost 1 room because one of our families got a phone call that their child had coded. And they went running out to the hospital because they didn't care about COVID. They cared about the 176 steps it took to get to their child. For us, unfortunately, they left the water on in the room, which flooded room 11. So we went down at 85% capacity because I could get it cleaned up, but I couldn't get it fixed because of COVID. To give you an idea of Georgia, there's 5 houses: Augusta, Columbus, Macon, Atlanta, and us. Atlanta went to 25% capacity. Augusta only went to 1 or 2 rooms. Columbus and Macon shut during COVID. Columbus lost 1 staff member to COVID, and we were able to stay at 85%. It costs $100, $150 a night to house a family. That's everything, you know, the hotels, I mean, you take away the stay, so you have a roof over your head, bathroom, hot meal every night, snacks, food, wireless internet, laundry, areas of respite, 176 steps from the front doors of the hospital system. We don't take into account even the gas that we take to go back and forth. We ask families for a $10 contribution a night per stay if they can do that. If they don't, it doesn't matter. To give you an idea, that 4,500 nights would have been $45,000. We got $1,200 that year, last year. Our average length of stay is 16 days, but for a NICU family, it's 2, 3, 4 months. Our longest stay just ended at 254, and our longest stay staying from South Carolina is 163. Yes, South Carolina, because what y'all don't know is you see the Partridge family van, but you don't see this part. We serve 30% of our families come from your community. And we don't get any help from the community in regard to this. But we're taking care of any child that's coming to the hospital systems. If you're here, you're either going to Charleston or you're coming to Savannah. And we're going to make sure you're taken care of. We serve NICU, PICU, ISN, oncology, mental health facilities, eye groups, even adoption, because that is becoming bigger this day and age. Our top 3 issues that we deal with are NICU, oncology, and trauma and accidents. We average 2 or 3 drownings from Hilton Head and Tybee a year, and they're going to be coming to the Trauma 1 Center, which is at Memorial and at Children's Hospital. We also have family rooms. Now the family rooms shut down during COVID, but before that, the family rooms are the extension of the Ronald McDonald House. So if everything except the overnight accommodations. But to give you an idea, in 2019, our last full year, almost 1,200 families, not people, 1,200 families, over 3,000, 4,000 people from South Carolina used our 2 family rooms. That's for anybody with a child in the hospital. So if you stay at the house, it's the most critical cases in our whole community. Every single person staying at the Ronald McDonald House is a phone call away from being told that they've just lost their child. It's tough. 2 weeks ago, I've been doing this now for 18 years. 2 weeks ago, I lost my 300th child. I know all 300 families. They're all so grateful that during these most traumatic times of their lives, they've been able to be as close as they possibly could for their child. I remember the 300 more than I remember the tens of thousands that we got to send home. Because when you have a mom or a dad in your office crying on your shoulders, they don't know what to do. Or in some cases, not wanting to go home because they can't step foot back in the house where their 7-year-old child grew up in. It's a little sobering. But knowing that we were able to provide the comfort and care for them during that time makes a world of difference. We always get asked about how we fundraise. We do a lot of events. Mike's been involved with our second biggest one, which is beer guys and cigars. But Janet and I are very proud of our biggest one, which is called Wine, Women, and Shoes. So are there any wine drinkers in the room? So last year, because we did have it last year, our event had 52 different wines for tasting, paired with 20 restaurants. There's shoe guys, there's keys to the closet and cellar, there's a shoe contest. I can go on and on unless you've been there, but I thought we would just give you a sneak preview of what that kind of looked like. You see Baby Blake again. There's Baby Blake 2 years later walking that stage and owning that stage after being born at 15 ounces. It's a 2-day event. We've only been running it now for 7 years, and last year we surpassed raising $1 million for the house because of that one program. It's May 11th and 12th. For the wine drinkers, May 12th is the better of the 2 days. But for those who are like fashion shows and luncheon, our May 11th day is the day to come to. But Janet, we're more than happy to talk to you. I will share that Janet's come on board now from the foundation, and we've really made some great changes. And this event has been named by Savannah the best of charity event for 4 years in a row in all of Savannah. Some fun facts. We have 3 young professional groups: Red Shoe Society, Yellow Shoe Crew, and Volunteer. Red Shoe Society are 21 to 39-year-olds. Just did an event. You talk about what you do and what you can handle. I'm surprised I'm here and Janet's not talking today, because on Monday, along with 3 other Red Shoe Society members, we played 100 golf holes in one day. It took us 10.5 hours. I had 7 Propel waters, 2 Gatorades, 2 peanut butter sandwiches, 1 Monster drink, 1 coffee, a bunch of other water, 6 Tylenol, and 2 Slim Jims to get through the day. And the 4 of us, because you got pledges to raise per hole, if everything comes through fruition, we're going to make, for 10.5 hours work, $13,000 for our families. Although I can't run to save my life, so if I'm attacked, I tried to run last night just to run across the parking lot to beat traffic, and I don't know how I didn't fall down. But anyway, those are some of the fun things you can do. Now, the other thing people know about us is our pop tabs. Now, you collect pop tabs. I wanted to give you some really cool fun facts about pop tabs. It takes 1,128 pop tabs to make 1 pound. So 1,128 adult beverages that you could partake of to give us 1 pound of tabs. If you get us that 1 pound of tabs, we get 45 cents. And we average $6,000 a year, which means that to the Ronald McDonald House here at the Coastal Empire, we get on a yearly average 13,748,110 tabs brought to our house. So y'all drink a lot. A really fun fact with that is this started in Minneapolis, Minnesota. And I cannot do the math on this, because I do not know how many tabs this equates to, but last year, their budgeted item for pop tabs was $220,000. They drink a lot in Minnesota. It is cold. It must be energy drinks, right? and Cokes. I will leave you one last video that I think kind of sums it up. You know, everything we do, everything I've been able to share with you, because they said I had 2 hours, so this is only section 1 of the conversation. But everything we do, I get to, and Janet gets to say 2 things that very few charities get to say in this world. The first is we serve every illness and every injury. Doesn't matter if it's an accident, an I-16, cancer, or a newborn baby. If you're a newborn at 22 years of age, we are going to take care of you and your family. The second thing is that 100% of everything we raise that's donated, that's in kind, or it's time, stays in our community. Not 1 penny leaves. Anything times you drop money into a change holder, or if you go into McDonald's, I'd ask you to say to them when you go through the drive-through, round up for Ronald McDonald House, because 100% of that money will come to us. The most you will ever come out of your pocket, and you won't miss it, is 99 cents. We're just going to round up. So the next time you go to McDonald's, you can do that. Really good things happen.
To me as a mom, it meant the world that I was able to stay so close to her. And she was never alone. On May 16th, Emily underwent her first open heart surgery. She came out of recovery, things were going well, and on day 3, she had to be re-intubated in an emergent situation.
It was hard. It was very hard.
And there is a place just across the street where you can stay, and they will give you wherever you need.
Every cent counts.
The donations helped to create an environment of home away. I was able to be by her side for all of those scary intubations. It calmed me, which I believe calmed her. We know what to expect when we go there. It means everything. And she was never alone.
He's the love of our life.
We came with hope and faith.
Thank you for donating to the Ronald McDonald House charity and the families that it serves.
The
family. Gracias.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you from the Davis family.
So thank you for your time today. We appreciate the opportunity to be in front of you. If you're ever in Savannah and you want to tour the house and see where all this money goes, we'd love to have you just stop in. If you do want that line, you can see Janet before she leaves today, and she will get you in the right direction to get a ticket for that. With that, do you have any questions? Yes, sir.
Yeah, in St. Louis years ago, different organizations, including our Rotary Club, volunteered to prepare the evening meal.
Yes, sir.
And so do you guys do that?
We do. We finally, thank the Lord, are able to bring people back in the house. So we do. We provide a hot meal every night. It's done by the community. It's done by church groups, Rotary groups, just families. We ask the families come in, prepare the meal in our kitchen, or it has to come in from an outside commercial kitchen. Usually cooking before COVID times, anywhere between 35 to 50 people. And now with COVID times and new policies, right now, 25 to 30. But yeah, so all you gotta do is call the house. They'll say, when are you thinking? They pull the calendar up, and then you just come on up, and we just ask that the meal be prepared and ready for 6 p.m. Because that's one of those times where the units are shut down and the families all come back to the house for a short time.
Yeah, it was about a 2-hour experience there.
Yes.
We brought the food.
And groups also back, and we're hoping to get back to this, that groups would come in sometimes, maybe even do a team building component, which this is part of, or actually meet up in the conference room and have a meeting during the day and do that, but yes. Other questions before I let y'all get back to work?
So with the tabs?
Yes, ma'am.
Does it have to just be that from cans, not from?
It could be anything that's aluminum, but we just take the tabs,
Bottle?
not the bottle, because the bottles, there's not enough aluminum in that. It's just the pop tabs or the, cat food is another one that can do it, but those are basically it, and it's just strictly the aluminum. But it just adds up, and it's just one of those things where if you're ever coming by Savannah, we have these really cool bins outside of the house you just drop them off on. If you want to just drop them off, or you can ring the doorbell and hand them in, and we'll send a thank you letter. Mike's holding the pop tab boxes that you see on your tables that are out there for if you want to collect them. It just adds up. It's one of those things where people can do that, and like I said, it's amazing how one tab makes a difference. It takes $11.28 for 45 cents, but to get $6,000 for stuff that's kind of just being tossed to the side, it makes a difference. We have a new partner with Southern Eagle, who is now going to have all their distribution centers start where all their products defective start popping the tabs. They're going to do a huge campaign for us. So, those are simple things that add up. Or Roundup. Anything else? Well, again, thank you. If you have any questions, we're available, but thank you for your time and letting us come out this morning. It wasn't too bad, an early morning drive from Savannah. There was an accident coming in, we just got by, so hopefully everything's good there, but thank you.